Want to talk about Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. This is a very quick one. It's a perspective because I didn't really want to do a full-on review, really get into that. But I thought I rewatched these films recently because we did a talk hard on Army of Darkness, and I thought, well, let me document my thoughts and feelings about Evil Dead 1 and 2. So tell me your thoughts in the comment. I love to hear back from you guys. Tell me where I'm off base anyway, because obviously people, generally speaking, do not agree with me. They love Evil Dead 2 a lot. Like, it is a very well received, well thought of film. And, Evil Dead is just kind of where it all started. Whereas for me, I'm kind of a diehard man. So Evil Dead 1 versus 2, because we're talking about a few years in between, like 6 years, I think, right? 81 and 87, I think. So Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, and there were some other folks that were involved in that initial creative process to some degree. And obviously, Irvin Shapiro deserves a lot of credit too, because he helped produce this and get this through. And of course, Stephen King become a big fan, and that kind of helped move the franchise along forward later on as well. But for me, the first film, the horror aspects of it, the low budget and the creativeness, this innovation that had to be done to adapt this film for, I don't know, it had what, $375,000 budget, right? It's less than four. It made a couple $1,000,000, right? It's incredible. To me, that filmmaking is so much more interesting and engaging than the second film. Now, the second film, which is kind of like a requel, right? It's a reboot / sequel because it's the same universe, but we send him back to the cabin again, and we kind of redo the first film rather quickly, and then kind of move on from there. I will say this: look, the first film is obviously way more horror and a lot less comedy and shtick and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the second film, that balance switches and it becomes a lot more about this over the top comedy and the silliness and, that killer hand and some different elements to the film that most people just love. And I have to be honest, I enjoy it. But to me, it's the first film. The first film is where it's at. That's what I enjoy the most. That's what I really enjoy watching. But be honest, this is all about Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is really such an underrated performer, an underrated personality. I can't believe there were these massive holes in his resume. Like he just didn't have work constantly. He's got this first off, this look with this chin, this authoritative personality that just kind of comes through. And I'm just still sort of like shocked that his career did not really go more. He did like short film stuff, and he really didn't get much in between. So like 6 years, and there's not a lot there. I think he did Crime Wave with Sam Raimi, but then you end up with like Maniac Cop, and you have some other stuff that he does, but it's never on the level of what he could have been or should have been, in my opinion. His Ash it's iconic. It's this incredible character. It will live on for decades. After he's gone, it will live on forever. I don't know. You guys think I'm crazy? Because I mean, most people, most reviewers, most ratings have Evil Dead 2 really, really high. Like, I don't know, like 9.5 kind of thing. Really, really high. And Evil Dead is lesser. Now, I don't know that I could put either one in that level, that tier, because that tier is like kind of off limits. Like, that's the elite. But this does fit in that same genre. It's this low budget, the founders of horror as we know it, right? The Halloween, and I did a little video on like American Werewolf in London and the technology. We'd have to include things like Howling as well. The Jasons and the Freddys and all this stuff that comes into it, and the fact that Dead was so defined by this concept of this and the supernatural and, the Book of the Dead and all these different things. Its legacy was really, really underrated. And it's definitely something that everybody loves to watch and enjoys every year. I really did too. I probably wouldn't watch this regularly. It's not on my regular rotation, but I can tell you when I watch it, I do enjoy it. So with that said, I'd love your thoughts. Tell me where I'm off base or what you agree with me on. And obviously, we did a talk hard on Army of Darkness, and I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. If it's not there, let me know. because that one is my favorite of the three, to be perfectly honest. But that came out more in like my Nexus era. It came out in 92. So that's why I like that one the most. So anyway, that's my thoughts, and I'm Pops. Thank you so much for watching.